And good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. Happy hump day. Good morning, YouTube. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. We are going to get into some things on this ride, this car chronicle, this ride into the office. Come on in, come on in. We're going to talk about this big, beautiful bill that President Trump has been working very, very hard to get passed. Will it pass? Will it pass just in time for Memorial Weekend for the holiday? Come on in, come on in. We're going to talk about some things. Everyone's not here for this big, beautiful bill. Are you here for the big, beautiful bill? Are you here for it? It's a lot of parts to it. It's a lot. It's a lot. So we're going to talk about it. I want to know, what parts are you here for? What parts aren't you here for? Like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Good morning. Happy hump day. The big, beautiful act. It's had eyes on it already. Friday. I think Congress looked at it on Friday. They was like, nah, we're not going to pass it right now. Go ahead and make some changes. Do some tweaks. It wasn't passed on Friday by, I think it was the Congress, that level. It's different levels. Like, it's levels to this thing. It's different levels that have to look at it. So it needs everyone to kind of pass it, check it off before it can kind of progress along the way. So it's been progressing. Even this morning, there was a vote. There was a committee vote this morning at like after 1 o'clock in the morning. Not sure how that, with that, what the results were for that vote, but the final vote would be after that vote, the vote that would have taken place like in the wee hours last night when many of us were asleep. What's up, Amy? Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, let me know. Hey, what's up, Eric? Listen, Eric, this big, beautiful bill. Listen, are you here for it? I know that's your man. Listen, you and my husband, y'all will die on the cross for that man. Are you here for the big, beautiful act? Cause he like, listen, we got to change some things. We trying to save a few dollars. Some people think the saving is for the rich, not for the poor. So I don't know if y'all know, but like a lot of these things, like these tax cuts or what you been, listen, if you think you been poor, just know that what you've been living off of have actually been some like tax cuts. You be like, what? You mean the government been showing me love? Well, what does hate look like? Cause I've been struggling. I've been struggling. Yes, like apparently, I guess when Trump got in office in the first time with 2016. I remember when he did some changes with taxes because my tax preparer, y'all remember back in the day, like when you went file your taxes, this was when like the first term pre-Trump or just up until when he took office where you could file your taxes and you can like exempt a lot of like different things. Baby, when that man got in the office, it's back when I didn't like him. He back on my list. But anyway, this is when I like couldn't stand him. And my tax preparer was like, well, Sheik, yeah, that the exemptions and the things, you once was able to get. Listen, your president was like, it's a new day. You can't do that no more. So he was like, listen, for the next 7 years, 10 years, however long, this is as good as it gets. This right here. This right here. So apparently what's been happening, however you view your little tax situation, it's been in place since like 2017, and it's tax cuts, um, that Trump implemented, and right now they're due to kind of end maybe like 2026, I think, maybe 27. So I think these were like cuts and things that were in place for like 10 years. So with the Big Beautiful Bill Act, he's trying to keep a lot of that going because, it was only for a certain period of time. So y'all go ahead, because I was doing it this morning, like with this big, like today, I'm going to tell you this morning, like right before I went live, and I was just researching some things, I seen the Big Beautiful Bill Act because what prompted me to start researching, y'all, is because I was seeing news clips about hospitals closing down, and it centered around Medicaid. And then it led me to this Big Beautiful Bill Act that will impact Medicaid. So we're going to get into that too, y'all. We're going to get into some things. Y'all know I be deep diving. Y'all know, listen, I am a lifetime learner. I need to be, listen, I be going in. I be trying to figure out what the freak, what's going on. And y'all know how the rabbit hole runs deep and you get to kind of going here and there. So that's what had happened to me this morning. So this is what my mornings be looking like. I be doing all of that before I get on the road and talk my talk. Y'all know I be running my mouth. So y'all like the video. In the meantime, as I burn my mouth for about the next hour and a half. So hospitals closing down. There's a hospital. So I was listening to a story about this hospital. I think they said it's in Trinity, Texas. And I think they said in a month they have at least about 400 people that come through. It's in a rural part of Texas. And y'all, the doors are closed. The hospital is gone. It ain't even there. It's closed down. And they say the reason why I had to close down is because they're like not getting like the money fast enough through Medicaid. They were like, okay, in the rural areas, or like Medicaid don't be doing what it's supposed to do with paying out, y'all. That's federal funds. So the Medicaid, that's federal funds. So they were like, when in the urban, like in the cities, the non-rural areas, most of those people who are coming through like the hospitals and things, they have private insurance. So many of you, if you work, likely you probably have private insurance. If you're paying, it's coming out your check and all of that is private insurance. So in the hospitals outside of the rural areas, that's where the funding is primarily coming from. So they don't really have the struggle like that to kind of keep the lights on, to keep the doors open. So in these rural areas, they struggle with that because they rely on the federal government to pay out for Medicaid, to pay for just to keep the lights on, to keep the doors open. And the money isn't coming in like it should. And I had already reported on this type of thing like on my channel some months back. If you're new to my channel, like, share, and subscribe if you want to be in the know. Because one thing about Chic, I am going to kick it to you in a way I promise you ain't never heard nobody deliver it. And that's on that. So again, we are back at the having a conversation. We're back at it with the hospitals closing down. This hospital in Trinity, Texas is not the first and the only hospital that has closed down in the U.S. And then the hospitals that are still open have experienced layoffs. Nurses have gotten layoffs. The money isn't coming in like that. So as we talk about this Big Beautiful Bill Act, the Trump administration, their goal is to reduce the budget for Medicaid to about $2 billion. So from whatever is being paid out, they're like, listen, we need to get this number down. We need to get this number down, and it needs to be closer to true 2 billion. 2 trillion, I'm sorry, with a T, not a B. 2 trillion. So a lot of these seniors, y'all, was out here wilding out. I've seen a clip where I don't even know what state this was, but somewhere over yonder, they was wilding, because these old folks like, listen here, Bill and Linda, like, listen here, man, like, you playing with our livelihood, you talking crazy, you trying to cut into the funds that are already limited. That's why I said, y'all, even at what's going on right now, you think you poll right now, but please know that you've been getting some tax cuts and some breaks. President Trump wants you to know that even though as hard as you may feel like you're struggling, he been showing you love since 2017. And that's on that. This is what he's saying. He been showing you love since 2017, and he's trying to keep that love going. He's trying to continue to to give some credits for like the child care. Y'all know on the taxes where you got that shot. So I remember liking this now. And I ain't gonna hold you because y'all, I got 3 kids. One of them is an adult now in college, but I got two that are still underage. Y'all know that that child income. What's up, Virtuous? Good morning. Y'all know that child, that tech, it was about an extra 1,200. I don't know what the dollar amount was, but I know it was more than what I was getting. With that child credit, y'all know that child credit. Some of y'all probably was selling some of y'all kids social security numbers so they can get that credit for a few dollars. Because I don't know if it was like a cap, because y'all know sometimes people be having a slew of kids. So I don't know if it was a cap for maybe after 3 or 4, then you wasn't kind of able to kind of get the credit anymore. So that's when it comes in. With some of y'all probably trying to for a few dollars, sell off the little social for the baby so somebody can get that credit. But anyway, Trump like, listen, that was me. That was me. I was the one who implemented that. So while y'all cussing me out in all the languages of the land, y'all need to understand that was me giving y'all that little credit. So and remember, during your taxes, you was getting that credit. Y'all remember that because you wasn't getting it before. You was not getting it before. So things like that, there's a lot of things that's been in place that he's wanting to kind of keep going. Basically, with this bill, about 2/3 of the taxpayers will see relief when it comes to taxes. It's going to be about 5% that will see an increase uh, for taxes. So that's what he's saying. So he like, listen, I'm gonna need for y'all to go ahead and check yes, raise your hand and say aye when it come time for this bill, because I'm trying to help people out. But like I said, a lot of people are really side-eyeing it when it comes to the Medicaid portion, because there is some changes that are being proposed in it. There are some changes that's been proposed to when it comes to Medicaid, as far as with how you can qualify. There will be work requirements. So what I learned, y'all know, I'm in Georgia. I've come to notice that with my state, it's a lot. It it's kind of a lot of stuff that don't be popping off in other places. I notice it just be popping off here in Georgia. Like they be experimenting. Like I told y'all, Lyft plans on doing the not the autonomy, the cars that'll drive itself. Lyft plans on introducing that here in Atlanta this summer. Why it had to be here, I don't know, but it is here. So anyway, right now Georgia is the only state that like requires that has work requirements for Medicaid. So with this bill, it's going to make it just a federal thing, like where it's just a thing everywhere, no matter where you live. It's going to be requirements, federal requirements you need to meet, which is going to be centered around like your work requirements. So you might be like, Sheik, well, what do you mean work requirements? Well, what he's saying is that you need to work you a job. You need to be, you can't, the days of you just sitting and not doing nothing, it ain't it's gonna be gone. You need to work a job. You need to work a certain amount of hours, a minimum amount of hours per month in order to qualify for the Medicaid. Yes. So the secretary of HUD, it's a black guy named Scott Turner. Scott was like, listen, about 50, at least 50% of people who are right now receiving just HUD benefits, like centered around like with the housing and things like that. That's HUD. That's the Housing of Urban Development. That's what HUD stands for. He said at least 50% of the people who are recipients of that don't work, as far as with the adults in the home. So basically, it's a lot of people out here who are getting benefits, but it's just because they just don't want to get off their behind and go work. So that's rolled up in the bill. So it's Medicaid, which is also like a federal benefit, and then HUD also. So they're like, listen, we need for y'all to do more than what you've been doing. Whatever you've been doing, I'm gonna need for you to do more if you're gonna be dependent on us helping you out. And this is what I talked about yesterday on this live for when it comes to the what do you call that? We were talking about the income, the what's the word? Y'all put it in the chat where the government will pay you to work. Not work. I'm sorry. Where you don't work. You don't work. We talked about it yesterday on this live. If you joined, if not, listen, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. I do car chronicles as I drive into the office 2 days a week. So, universal income, UBI, universal income. So, this is what I said when it comes to universal income. Anytime when a government is doing something for you, oh, baby, that ain't ish for free. There's strings attached. You know how he might be like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pay your rent. It ain't no strings attached. You a lie. You a lie. You know ladies. You know that man was lying when he said ain't no strings attached. You know he be lying. Anytime you heard somebody tell you that, you already know they was lying, and it didn't take you long for you to realize that they was a whole bald faced lie. This is the same with the government. Anytime when somebody's doing something for you, they gonna come at you with some strings. It's gonna be a thick, long string on what's attached, and you're gonna be like, "Well, damn, I didn't know all this came with it." So this is what's happening. The government is like, "Yo, if I'm about to do this for you, these are the rules. This is what it entails." So are you either with it or you not? So when it comes to the Medicaid, they're like, well, okay, you need it. The Medicaid, you can require qualify for Medicaid if you're a child, a teenager, and you're over 65. You're blind. You're disabled. These are, this is how you can qualify for it. But from the 19 through 64, this is kind of where it comes into play as far as with these work requirements and things like that. So some people have issues with it just because they're like, well, she like what I'm seeing on the internet. Yes, I'm like, okay, what are the concerns that people are having? So they're like, well, I mean, right now the job market is really bad. Y'all, I be talking almost every live. I talk about job losses. People are still losing their jobs. My daughter just told me just this week, her best friend's dad, who's the only breadwinner in the house for his family, what they got 3 children, just a family of 5. Dad lost his job. He had a really good job in cybersecurity. Job gone. They called that man during spring break and told him his job was over with. Yes, baby, cybersecurity, good job, 6 figures, up, good job, gone, gone. So people are like, yo, like, I hear what you saying, but like, it's a challenge for for a lot of people to get jobs right now. And then some people are like, yo, some of these jobs is limiting to the amount of hours you can work, because this is how hard it is, to where it's like, what if I got me a job and they cut back on the hours because they don't listen? Everybody on their Tasha K, I ain't got it. Listen, Bill, you're gonna get these good 20 hours this week because we ain't got it to pay you 40. So you either can work these 20 or you gotta move around, go find you something else. But basically, people gonna have to be doing like multiple jobs to add up to a check that's gonna be able to keep a roof over their head and put food on the table and take care of their kids. You're gonna have to kind of piecemeal a little job situation together. So that's the situation for a lot of people. So then you have some people, yeah, I'm sharing the concerns that are out there where people have why they're not here for the portion centered around like the Medicaid. So then you got some people who are like, well, Sheik, I got kids and I can't afford childcare like that. So who finna watch these 8 kids I got, Sheik? You know I got 8 kids. I done told you I find the people who be financially struggling, they be having the most kids. Y'all put that in chat why that is. I find the ones who struggle the most be the ones that got the most kids. So these people are like, listen, I ain't got no babysitter. I can't find a job, or the job I found, I can't get enough hours, or the hours that, that may be required for me to work each month to keep the Medicaid benefits going. So these are the concerns that people have right now as it pertains to the Medicaid. And the seniors are definitely kind of kicking and screaming because they're like, this some bull, like what we doing? Like, this just too much. This is just too much. Apparently, it seems like President Trump had mentioned or talked about, I guess maybe when he ran, on making people who receive Medicaid like tax exempt, but that's not a thing apparently he's trying to do. I think that people, like, say people who are retired, like I think those people should be tax exempt, because here's the thing, they're already on a fixed income. And even with that fixed income, it's not enough. We've talked about that too on this channel. It's not enough. So you need your retirement money, so the social security, you need that, plus whatever 401k, if you had that, like, you need something, because it's not enough to just think you're going to live off of social security. Y'all, I know people who are like living off of social security right now, and they like, yo, Sheik, I ain't got no car. Well, why you ain't got no car, Mr. Charles? Because I can't afford the insurance. I don't have enough money to pay the insurance that I would need to have on a car, so I don't have a car. That's crazy. That's crazy that when that somebody, they got to go without something such as like their transportation. To me, I put that as an adult, like, that's a necessity to get around. What if something happens? So this is the situation that a lot of people are in, who are later in life. But y'all, hell, you got the young ones struggling too. I'm talking about the cries of the older ones, but you got the younger ones struggling too. And I tell y'all, it's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard for everybody. Pimping is not easy. That's world, everybody. UK, Africa, Afghanistan, they like, Sheik, pimping ain't easy over here either. I'm in Greenland. Pimping is not easy. Paris. Oh yeah, it's really not easy over here in Paris. Like, it's just hard out here for so many people. So I listen and I tap in at all these different outlets, because it's rooted in me trying to understand the concerns of people in different demographics. Because I'm not only concerned about people that look like me. I know you got people who others, you got other skin tones who are struggling. Like, it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. People earlier this year who lost their jobs by the mass, in masses. It was people of all different skin tones impacted. My daughter, whose best friend, that's a whole white family. My baby girl, my daughter's best friend is a white girl. Her white daddy has lost his good job. What they say? He got a good job. He made that good money. Oh, not no more. Not no more. That job is gone. And it had nothing to do with his skin tone or nothing like that. It's just the times that this is where we're at. This is where we're at. We are these. It's hard times out here. So HUD, with back to the housing, they're like, yo, like, it's far too many people who are getting subsidized housing and not working just simply because they can. That can just be their situation. The secretary, HUD Secretary Scott Turner, he was like, listen, I talked to a young lady. She was like, listen, I've been living off of this. He said that she's been benefiting from HUD housing since the 70s. So he was like, it seemed basically she was saying since she was a young girl. Because remember, I done told y'all, grandma ain't got no money. Grandma, the best she can do is leave that Section 8 house to you. That's about the best she can do these days. Because for a lot of families, it's multi-generational, where these families have lived in these type of housing, like with the subsidized housing, the Section 8 housing, where that same house has literally, you all stayed in the family. I have seen it. So when he told that story of the young lady talking about, yeah, I've been living underneath, this HUD program since the 70s, he was like, she basically said all her life since she was a young girl, because she was like, her mama raised her in it, grandmama lived it. Like, child, they on the third generation of this doggone house, this situation, the third generation. And Section 8, the voucher, you can change that, you can move that. Like, you can put in for a transfer. So if you have within your state, like, you can apply to transfer your voucher. That's how, when I say people who keep it going. So with that being said, if you're growing up in a home, in an environment, and this is what's happening, where is the incentive or the motivation to get to it and to do better, to where one day you're not living in a HUD housing situation on Section 8? Y'all, I've seen this. You be having young girls a spotless. This is what I say when stuff becomes generation, because you see things and you could become accustomed to how the people live, how the people in your community live. So you think, well, this is just what they do where I'm at. You get your own Section 8. So hell, I'm tired of living in my mama house. I'm gonna go and apply. I'm gonna get my own Section 8. So there has been times where you'll have young girls to where, yes, they put themselves, they'll get themselves in a little situation, get pregnant, whatever, and they're applying and they getting their own little housing, their own little Section 8 housing. They got their own little food stamps. Y'all, this is a whole thing. It's a mindset. It's a mentality. Like this, so this man Scott, the HUD secretary, he was like, welfare has become a lifestyle in the U.S. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Do you feel like welfare is a lifestyle? He was like, welfare has become a lifestyle in the U.S., and that is an entire problem. Especially when at least 50% of the people who are receiving these benefits are able working bodies. They're adults and they just don't work because it wasn't a requirement. Y'all, I didn't know that it wasn't a requirement to work to get like benefits like through HUD. Like I did, it sounds crazy to me. I be wondering how some of these people still get. I know folks who still getting it, and they had it when they was raising their children, and the kids long gone, and they still getting them. They still living off of Section 8. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'm still trying to figure that out because I'm like, how? This is just a single person. The child is grown, and they still on Section 8. And then they driving this car and they working this job, getting to it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Like y'all, that is a thing out there. It is a whole thing. But the Trump administration said, listen, this big beautiful bill is about to make it not be a thing. And I talked about too before. So with Section 8 housing, they want to also, and it's probably written in this bill, they want to limit the amount of time that you're able to even be on Section 8 housing. So let's just say you meet all the qualifications to get the housing. Okay, boo boo, Keisha, Brenda, Karen, you got a good 2 years, 24 months to get your life all the way together before it's time for you to raise up off of that voucher and move along so somebody else can benefit. Y'all remember for years people came to know like that Section 8 list would be long as hell. Like it'd be long. I know people who got on it when they first had a child, and then by the time their name came up on the list, their child was about 8, 9, 10. Like y'all, no lie. For real, for real. That's how long the list be. But what I learned about this situation is the reason why it be this long, it is not centered around the number of vouchers they had, like not having enough. They don't have enough homes. It's not enough houses. It's not enough houses where people signing up to be a part of like the Section 8 program. So you got thousands of people who are like got their hand raised like, yo, I need help, I need a voucher. And it's just like, okay, I hear you, but we don't have enough houses, we don't have enough landlords. So that's why, the list be like what it is. If you ever want to know, that's why it's not enough participants. So now the change is that Trump is saying, okay, we want to limit the amount of time you can have Section 8. I'm not mad at that idea because I done told you the HUD secretary, Scott Turner, said he talked to a young lady who said she been living off of it since the 70s. All her life. Not some of her life, all her life. I told you, like, grandmama, like, this is your inheritance. You gonna get this Section 8 voucher. Y'all think these people ain't happy? Grandmama and them learning that, girl, grandmama left you her Section 8. That's like Lotto. You think them people ain't happy to know that grandma left them a section? Listen, especially if you living in California, New York, hell nowadays, hell everywhere expensive. But in particular, these really, really super duper expensive places, yes, these people like, oh, I knew I was grandmama favorite. Oh, grandmama loved me. She left me the house. Like, for real, y'all, I don't be lying to make it ish up. I be telling y'all real, like, this be like true story, true story. I just don't be dropping no names. or telling y'all how I really know. But listen, for real. For real, this be people whole inheritance. And as much as rent, y'all don't act like let somebody in your family leave you a doggone a house. And all you paying a month is $35, $100. You'll be praising the Lord too. But this is what the situation is. Like, people, this is how it stays in the family, and it's a generational thing because it hadn't been super hard to kind of to to qualify for it and to keep it. So now Trump's like, all right, then we got to change the game up because like people, like the people, everybody think this is the new. We got to change it up. We got to change it up. Okay, in order to, okay, we're going to take be priority are going to be the ones who are elderly and who has a disability. So if you are interested in Section 8, if you're elderly and have a disability, you would take priority. As of late, I suppose the way it's been, that's not how it's been, because I'm telling y'all the examples of the people who I know who've been getting living off of it for years. They weren't elderly and they wasn't disabled. I'm just gonna call a thing a thing. They were not. They just, all I just knew they was a parent. But how many of us out here that are parents who aren't living off of Section 8? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at the changes that's being made centered around Section 8, because I do think that people been getting over, and a lot of people have just gotten accustomed to having a handout. They just got used to it. It's just, you just get used to it. It's a way of life. You seen mama doing it. You seen grandmama doing it. Daddy doing it, whoever. So you like, well, hell, let me do it too. Let me do it too. So they're trying to change that because they're wanting people to feel like, they need to go out and work and earn something, because it brings, most people think, with, earning something yourself, it brings, it's a sense of pride, knowing that you get into it yourself and you're not relying on somebody to do it for you. It just does something to your soul when when you know that you're able to get to it yourself, and can't nobody tell you a mother effing thing because you ain't doing nothing over here. I take care of this. I bet y'all know that energy. You black women, y'all know that energy. Men be like, yeah, they sure know that energy very well. But it's nothing like knowing that you don't need somebody like that. Like, you cool. I like having you around, but baby, you ain't stopping no show. I've been getting to this before I even knew who you was. Like, so don't get it twisted. Think that you just, you don't want to find yourself in a situation like that. Because guess what? Like, when you find yourself in a situation where you're in need and that person know you in need, Mason, that you getting diddy, you're getting treated like Cassie. We don't want the Cassie Ventura treatment. I don't want that for you. We do not want the Cassie Ventura treatment. And it's rooted in people taking advantage of people who they see that are down and out, that are in need, and who are willing to deal with some foolishness for a dime or a dollar. We gonna call a thing a thing. That's not what we do. When you get into it yourself, you can say it with your chest, like, if you don't get out my face, you better go on with that. It's something about that, to have that energy. But it comes from when you know that you can get to it yourself. You can cuss a mofo out when they coming at you sideways. Because when they leave, they ain't stopping nothing. They're not stopping nothing. You're gonna still get to it. So that's the kind of energy you want to know, that you don't have to have somebody can't just come and talk to you any kind of way and treat you any kind of way. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And so with the government, if they're taking care of you, giving you discounts, doing all this and that, that's leaving the door open for them to dictate and tell you where you can live, how nice you can live, how much money you can make if you do want to go out there to work. Listen, they all in your business. As I said yesterday on my live, they in your bedroom. Who your baby daddy? What's his name? Because listen, they ain't trying to get no government assistance to you, and you got a baby daddy out there who can be taking care of that kid. So they trying to make sure that he ain't nowhere in sight. That's why a lot of women be like, I don't know who my baby daddy is. I don't know where he at. Because it's rooted in these benefits. Because if you know the answers to all of that, the government is going to be looking for that person to take care of that child, to handle those responsibilities that these ladies are looking for the government to do. So that's why they get tight-lipped. I don't know where he at. I don't know, because they need these resources. When you know, like, so it's a method behind the madness. So that's why you got a lot of people who have found it who have found it so much easier to live off just the government and just be like, fine, I'll let him in my bed. All right, Uncle Sam. Okay, yes, Keith came. I ain't seen Keith since we made this baby in 2020. I don't know where Keith is. Meanwhile, y'all know Keith in the closet. Keith is in the closet. When the people came through, Keith in the closet. I don't know. I ain't seen that man. I have not seen him. He ain't even signed a birth certificate. He ain't signed a birth certificate. Oh, really? You ain't seen Keith? No, I ain't seen that man. He probably out there making more kids. Y'all, I am painting a damn picture. I'm not making this ish up because this is how it started. Because the government came in with this welfare stuff and helping these women out with the Section 8 is because they were saying the men weren't there. So the government like, well, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna do this, but we bet not find out that Keith been around here because you're gonna get these benefits taken. That's how Keith ended up in a damn closet. Y'all wonder, damn, is that why Keith been in the closet all these years? Yes, yes. I done told Brenda business, but I'm just letting y'all know that is the situation. Brenda had to tell them people that she know where the freak Keith was so she can get these benefits. It's like that is still taking place today. So Trump like, you best damn go find Keith. We not doing this. You better go find him. You better go find him. You got 2 years to find him. You got 2 years. You got 24 months. You better do an APB out him. You got 2 years to find Keith. You got 2 years. Because this is how long they're allowing for people to be able to stay on the Section 8 poll. Well, this is what Trump is proposing, so it's likely a part of this big, beautiful bill. Y'all, he calling that thing big and beautiful. Y'all, if you want to know what's in the bill, Google it because there's a lot of information. And because I'm driving, I can't really get to it like I get to it on some of my lives when I'm stationary. That's why you got to follow me because I'm not always driving. Um, but I get to it and I iron out the details. So he is really wanting to push this bill, and this bill needs to be passed going before like the Labor Day weekend is out. So right now, the last vote would be by like the Senate, and that could take place anytime between now and Friday. Anytime between now and Friday, that could take place. Will it get passed? I don't know. There's a lot of people who have concerns with it. A lot of it is rooted in the Medicaid situation. A lot of people feel like that the tax savings is the bill. It's centered around tax savings for the rich and not the working class people. So it has some favorable parts, but people are peeping the game on other parts as well. There's a lot of parts. So there's parts where I'm like, but I'm not right now saying, oh, no to the bill. Like, I don't know yet because I just this morning before I went live kind of started kind of getting into it like, oh, okay. So I don't have an opinion as to say, yes, they should, no, they shouldn't, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to say that you all go out there and look at the details yourself and see what applies to you. Because really, you got to look at it and see, okay, what applies to you? Because I'm not a senior. I don't use Medicaid. So that's not speaking to my soul. However, I know a lot of people do. I have, a mother-in-law who's retired. Like, so, and I know one day, eventually, I will. So I'm thinking like that, but in present times, it's not something that's having an impact on my life. But there's other things in the bill that may very well have an impact on my life. So that's why I say go through it and look at it. Uh, there were tax cuts that we have been receiving since 2017, with centered around the child credit. I'm here for a child credit, so that would have my like, okay, well, I'm here for the child credit, but it's like, okay, she, what else are you here for? I know I'm here for that, so that's one aspect of it. Um, I just feel like, and so some people have said like, okay, let me add this. Another part of the bill was um, people who make money off of tips that not being taxed. So apparently, so far, everyone who's laid eyes on it and who's voted like unanimously, they were here for that. Like, okay, I like that part. I like. So that's the part where he doesn't kind of, have people pushing back on that. But when it comes to this vote, no Democrat is expected to vote on it. When it comes to that final vote, the Democrats are already saying hell to the no, no, no. So they already know that. So now they have to bank on having really like all of the most of, let me see, it can only be very few, a very small number of Republicans to not vote on it, because all of the Democrats, it's already a no. So with that being said, right now, the House is more Republicans in there. So it's going to pass if every Republican vote yes, because it's more of them. But there's only a small window of how many Republicans can say no for it to pass. So I didn't hear them say the breakdown is the exact numbers, but they said that very few Republicans can say no. So they need just about almost all the votes for the Republicans on this bill for it to pass. I don't know if it's going to pass or not. I would say it's likely, it's probably will. If I were to just vote, and given that the Senate, the House, whatever, there's more Republicans, I would say I'm gonna bet and say he's gonna get the votes. But I don't know. I'm just going off of the numbers, y'all. I'm just going. I ain't going off of nothing else other than Republicans supporting another Republican. But y'all know, a lot of Republicans haven't been here for a lot of Trump shenanigans. So I don't know. We gonna see. But that's my vote. If I were to vote, I'd be like, I'm a vote that it's gonna go just because of the Republicans outnumber the Democrats. Based on that, it had nothing to do with like the quality of the bill or nothing like that. I'm just basing it centered off of just numbers. So we should by the end of the week learn the fate of that. Who knows, y'all? It might go into the wee hours. It might go into rolling into early Saturday, but apparently it's something that needs to be done before Memorial Weekend. Not sure why, y'all, why the date sensitivity of why it has to be like now. I'm not sure of that, because I just learned that part too about the deadline. So apparently the deadline is May 24th. What's today? The 21st? Yeah, May 24th is the deadline. So I don't know how they came up with that. I don't know how they came up with that deadline, but that's the deadline, y'all. May 24th. Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all here for this vote? The Big Beautiful Bill Act? Y'all here? Can I say aye? Raise your hand. Would you vote for it? Would you vote for it? Just some of the things that I said. I didn't talk about child tax credit. Trump saying keeping that going on. Credits for child care. Keeping that going on. So basically, if you use child care and get some types of credits and things like that, just think about that still kind of continuing to go on, because I don't think it was anything reintroduced. I think it's to keep going on what already was kind of there. So if you are already dealing with like child care credits and things like that, that's Trump. Are you here? That would be something that's favorable for you in this Big Beautiful Bill Act. If you are a worker, you make tips. Overtime, also overtime. No tax on overtime. That's something I believe that's part of this bill that they're proposing. I think the no tax on overtime, uh, no tax on tips. Um, what else that was favorable? Basically, he was saying, yeah, 2/3 of the people would receive cuts. Only 5% of the people would see an increase to their taxes. What else? What else? The work requirements. Okay, so on the flip side, I don't know, you may not like this part, so I don't know if it may consider. So I named off the pros. So for the cons, the flip side is the new work requirements for Medicaid. You got to work a certain. Oh yeah, back to the HUD. Let me go back. That black guy, remember Scott Turner? He's the black guy over the HUD. He said that in order to be able to get HUD, he gonna need for you to be working 20 hours somewhere, whether you volunteering. Now this is 20 hours, I think a week. You need to be working 20 hours, whether you volunteering or you at somebody's job making money. You need to be doing something. 20 hours. I think it's a week. I don't think it's a month because that's not a lot. Some it's 20 hours. You can look into it. But that would also be proposed as far as like the requirement with being able to get HUD. 20 hours. Because remember, this man said far too many people sitting at the house ain't doing a dang thing. And they allow them making more kids, having more babies. Because I done told y'all the ones that's the most economically challenged, I come to notice that they have more children. So could it be because hell, they ain't got nothing else? What else are they doing? They ain't at no job. They ain't got to be at nobody's job. They at the crib getting it in. They ain't tired from work. They ain't got no cries. Oh Lord, I'm tired from sitting in this traffic. Look, man, give me 10 minutes. Lady, I ain't got nothing for. Give me. Just let me get my mind right. Let me get my mind right. I just got home from work. Like they don't have no concerns like that. They just like, listen, I'm with it, cause they ain't tired from nothing else. So it's just like, let's get to it. Let's get to it. It makes sense to me why they probably got them babies, why they popping them out like that. So the HUD secretary, Scott Turner, like, listen, you gonna need to get up, you gonna need to get out that bed, get off your back for at least 20 hours. For at least 20 hours, you need to get off your back and go do something productive with your life. Be an example. Be an example to the kids for the next generation. Because this whole generational poverty thing just by choice, because really, y'all, we talking about choice stuff. A lot of what I'm talking about to y'all is centered around choices. Being in a situation where somebody can just do you any kind of way and mistreat you for a dime or a dollar, a lot of this is rooted in choices. Poor choices. Poor choices. Now, it may turn into a point where it's like, oh, I'm trying to leave and they ain't letting you leave. But the initial is rooted in poor choices. The initial is rooted in you wanted to be there. You were willing to endure whatever you was enduring for a dime or a dollar, a roof over your head. We gonna call a thing a thing. It is what it is. It's rooted in your choices, your decisions. You initially signing up to for some nonsense for a seat at the table. As I say, there is always strings attached. There is always something that's attached to the situation that I promise you, you're not gonna be here for. You're not gonna be here for it. So it would behoove you to create a norm of getting to it yourself and not relying on somebody to do it for you. That's whether it's the government, whether it's a parent, a partner, anybody. Don't put yourself in a situation where you got to accept some nonsense because you feel like, well, I ain't got no other choice. I ain't got no other options. Life's about choices. Create other options. Be motivated to want to do more. Be motivated to want to do better. Be motivated to show a different way to your children, to those who you are caring for. Be an example. Break the generational curse. Be that last generation that leave a Section 8 housing to the children. Be that one to willingly be like, you know what, government, I appreciate you allowing for me to be on here for however long I've been over here, but I no longer need it. I no longer need it. I'm getting to it on my own. Thank you for the hand up, because these government resources should be more of like the hand up, not the handout, where it should be temporary. It shouldn't be a lifetime thing where you're retiring off of these benefits. That's crazy, yo. It's insane. But it's a whole thing out here and people doing it, and it's not centered around no race or skin tone, because you got people of from all different ethnic backgrounds and races, nationality, who are doing this type of thing, and it's not good. It's not good, and also it's contributing to this crazy amount of debt that we got. So say when good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Like the video, like, share, subscribe. The message of the day: if you are an able body and you are able to get to it on your own, what's up, Jason? If you're able to get to it on your own, do it. Do it. It'll change your life forever. I promise you, it's going to impact your mentals, because once you see that you can do it, man, the sky's the limit. You're just going to get to it. You're going to get to it. And guess what? You're going to inspire those who see you doing it. You're going to inspire those behind you. You're going to inspire your siblings. You're going to inspire your babies. You're going to inspire people in your community, because so many people, that's all they seen was people getting to it in a certain way. So for them, it's just like, well, this is the only way. Oh, this is all I seen. But be that one to show somebody another way, because there's other ways. What they say is multiple ways to skin a cat. Like there's other ways to get to it. Show a different way. Because it's so, I always say, when we see stats, and a lot of times when they're like negative, like say teen parenting, like teen pregnancies, a lot of these stats, you all, what happens is that it's far easier to do what everybody else is doing than it is to do something different. It takes more effort, you all, to do something different. If everybody is going to the right, it takes far more effort to go to the left. It's just the way it is. Because you're just, now your mindset is, well, everybody else is doing it this way, so I'm just doing it this way because this is how everybody does it. Or I don't want to do it a different way because I don't want nobody looking at me a certain way or thinking that I think I'm better than because I'm doing something different. F that. My ass, I did a whole bunch of stuff different. I don't give a damn what nobody thought. You need to be big. You need to be inspired by these different moves that I'm making. That was my mindset. It was from a different place. Like, I'm doing these things to show you that there is a different way to do it. And this different way that I'm doing it, it wasn't necessary that I seen it close up in my family, in my immediate family. It's just that I knew it was possible because I seen other people in the world doing it. So sometimes you got to go beyond your circle and your community to see what they're doing. You see just people in general doing it. You like, well, damn, it is possible. I ain't seen it with nobody with my last name, but I seen it take place with other people with a different last name, other groups of people. Like, it's possible. So that's what I did. I kind of took notice of just the world, just people in general, and not just what was popping off just within my family. And that's how I made the moves that I made in life. Whether it was getting married, then having children, college education, y'all, like it, that this ish that I just popped off wasn't centered around because it was just being taught to me in my home. Like, no, what was taught to me was my work ethic, working hard, being responsible, being independent, not relying on someone. Like, I learned that in the home as I was being raised mostly by a single parent. But the family structure part, the nuclear family, like, now that I learned that outside. I learned that elsewhere. because I seen other people doing it in a way that wasn't been done within my home or my other family members' homes, but I seen that it was possible. I seen it taking place in my friends' home. So I'm like, hey, there is another way. There is another way. So maybe I can be the example within my family that shows that you can do it in a different way. So I'm the oldest of four kids. So I'm used to kind of paving the way. So a lot of times the story of my life really has been being the first to do things. But I'm used to it. I'm so used to it, I'm not afraid of it, because that's just how I've done anything. I didn't have anybody to look before me, like in my family that's close, that I can talk to and ask questions. Like there was nobody doing it to where I can say, okay, now how do I do this? How did you do that? No, I didn't have that. But guess what? People have that in me because I did it first. Well, Sheik, how did you sign up for college? What exactly did you do? Like I'm that person. Okay, you're married. When did you get married? What made you do that? Or how did you go about choosing the person you've been married to? Like, I was the first to do that. Child, I was the first to do a lot of stuff. That's why I am unapologetically me. Because if I did not have it in me to overcome fears or thoughts about what somebody else may think of me and all of that, y'all, no telling where I'd be or what I would have accomplished if I would have just continued to wait to see somebody else do it. No. So don't do that. It is okay to pave the way when it's something positive, to be the first to get out the game, to get out of that street life. They gonna talk about you in the beginning, maybe say some stuff that's sideways, but eventually they gonna talk about you with praises when they see that you got out, when they see you not locked up, when they see you ain't one of the 10 that's on the run and that from breaking out of somebody's prison. Like, so don't worry about what people think about you, because somebody always gonna have an opinion. So what they think about you, that's something they have to work through. That's a personal problem for them. It's not your problem. It's a personal problem for that person. So think about that. It's not your problem. It's not possible for us to control how people view us. It's not, like, really, y'all think about it. It is impossible to control how you are viewed by people, by everyone. So it's insane. It's insanity to go through life trying to adjust how people think of you or view you. That's crazy. Now, if as a collective people view you as a bad person, remember we're talking about collectives, it's a numbers thing, where anytime somebody encounters you they think you're a bad person, then that is something there with you, because it's like, okay, these aren't one-offs, this is a collective that people are saying, damn, my life is effed up like Diddy. As a collective people view him as a not so good person. But when you got these one-offs where you got people that got stuff to say about you, but it's not a collective, remember it's a numbers thing, then that's when it's not really you. Like it's just these people that's maybe hating on you or don't just like what you do or what you stand for. But as a collective, you just want to be viewed as just a good person. Can you sleep at night? Can you sleep at night? I bet you Diddy ain't sleeping at night. Is your soul right? These are just the basic questions that you got to ask yourself to so if you on the right track. Because it ain't gonna be centered around what somebody telling you. Because people will lead you to the pits of hell. Like Diddy was trying to lead Cassie. People will lead you to the pits of hell. So you got to be secure in you. How do you feel about what you're doing? Not your boys telling you, man, you good with me, and they on some other type of time. Don't go off of that. Do you feel good about what you're doing? Can you sleep at night? As a collective, do people view you as a good person? Like, this is what it's about. You got to figure it out. A lot of it is rooted in discernment. And if you need help trying to understand right from wrong, you better find a higher power and go to him or her, whatever you want to call it. Ask and you shall receive. Asking you shall receive. Figure it out. You need to figure it out. Get right with the Lord or whoever you believe in. It's never too late as long as you got breath in your lungs. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's just, um, the long, when we choose, because remember we're back, I'm talking about choices. When we choose to stay in nonsense for a long time, we just suffer for a long time. Cassie suffered for a long time. She chose. There was a point, you all, where she chose to be there until the day came where she chose to not be there. She chose to be there until a day came where she chose to not be there. So what happens is that the longer we choose to be in some nonsense, the harder life is for us. So the earlier we figure it out, the better. But it's never too late. But the earlier we figure it out, the better. We shouldn't be out here suffering. For what? What are we doing? For what? Figure it out. Message of today. Message of today. Figure it out. Step out of your comfort. Do what's right. Set an example. Pave the way. Choose. How about this one? Choose to leave something behind that wasn't provided to you by the government. Choose to leave something behind that you acquired through your hard work and effort. How about that? Like, it's the little things. You got to find something to be motivated by. You got to find something to be motivated by because that's what keeps us going because life is hard. Life is hard. And I always say, and I tell my kids, and you got to find, and nieces, you got to find something to be motivated by because when we do not have something to be motivated by, we out here just pissing in the wind. You can tell the people who ain't motivated by anything by the decisions they make. The decisions they make. They're giving no thought to their future. Because here's the thing, when you're giving thought to your future, you're very cognizant about what you're doing or what's taking place in your present. You're very strategic about your moves because you know what you do now can affect your outcome for tomorrow. So you're going to move a different type of way when you know where you're trying to get. I saw that with my kids. I got 3 kids. I saw 2 of them had a clear, defined direction. And then there was one that didn't. And guess what? The one that didn't, he got into ish in a way that the other 2 didn't. Saw that same with my nieces and nephews. The ones who had the clear, where they knew where they were going, their present day, the way they moved, how they perform in school, it was very different because they already knew what they was trying to get to. So they knew, okay, what I'm doing today is setting me up for tomorrow. But them ones, my nephew, my son, that couldn't tell me or the family what they wanted to do tomorrow, the ish they were doing in current time, you could tell they was on some dumb ish sometimes. So it's like, it's giving, you don't know what the F you want to do. So that's why you're not even caring, because if you gave a damn and you knew what you want to do, you know you can't do that because you're finna F it up. And you're not going to be able to do that because you're finna be somewhere else that you don't want to be. So, son, your task, my task, the task assigned to you is to figure out what the freak you trying to go. What do you want to do? Where are you trying to go? Because I need for you to focus on that. So therefore, when these ideas that are presented to you by whoever come to you, you know better to be like, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Hell, I'm trying to do this. That's gonna F up the whole situation, blow up, mess up the whole spot. I can't do that. I'm trying to get to this program that's starting to fall. I'm trying to go to this school. I'm trying to get to this job. Doing that's finna F. Oh, hell no, you ain't finna F up with my money, my life. Like, when you know what you want to do, you had that kind of energy when somebody come to you with some dumb ish. because you be like, hell no. Like you got stuff to live for. But when you ain't got nothing to live for, you ain't identified that thing that you got to live for, anything or somebody can come to you with some stupid issue. You be like, bet, let's go. Let's go. That's the difference of somebody with a plan versus somebody without. That's the difference with somebody who think about their future versus somebody who don't. Because when you talk about to talk to a lot of the ones who have made dumb shit, who do stupid stuff, they talk about, well, I don't know what I want to do. I ain't got nobody. Like they talk like that. Like they don't have a plan. There's nowhere that they plan to go. So they just doing stuff because they like, well, I mean, what else? Like there's nothing they can tell you where as far as like aspirations and dreams and stuff. Like these people, y'all don't have that. So I'm like, son, you need to figure it out. You need to figure it out. You saying you're not going to do sports anymore? All right, then. Well, you ain't got none but time on your hands to figure out life and be able to tell me what you want to do. And you got a deadline to figure it out. I need for you to figure it out because I feel like what's playing out is because you don't know what you want to do. You need to give thought to your future. Starting today, give thought to your future. And we're going to have conversations about it because I will be circling in and we're going to have discussions about the whys of what you decided you want to do, what research you've done, how you finna learn it. You ain't even got to go to college, but you got to learn it. What you want to trade school? Where we going to learn this skill at? What we doing? Don't be telling me anything. What's your plan? How'd you come up with that? Why do you want to do that? Have these conversations, asking all them questions. I say smart people ask questions. I'm asking you questions. I'm getting them. I'm about to make you think. You about to start thinking. You about to start thinking. You better come correct with mama. Start thinking. What we doing? What we doing? It makes a difference. I see it. I pay attention. It makes a difference. Any of you who see these, what I'm describing with your children or kids you have access to, think about that. Talk to this child more about their future and what they want to do. Ask them what do they want to do with their future if they've identified that. Ask them, well, do you understand how you have to get there? The skills, the background. How about that? Do you understand you can't have a record to be trying to do that? Like, do you understand that you can't have you can't have felon on your, do you understand you can't be checking the, do you understand? Do you understand? Y'all, I live in Georgia. Oh, don't think you can try to be somebody barber in the state of Georgia and you checking the box for doing time being a felon. Oh no, you're not getting a job in Georgia being nobody's barber. You're not getting a job in Georgia being nobody's real estate agent, nobody's appraiser. Oh no, you're not doing that. Basically, you're not getting a job where it's caused for you to have to kind of be dealing with like the public like that, providing a service. That's kind of how I narrowed it when when I came to see like what the limitations were. These are good paying jobs. These are good fields. But if you check in the box says done doing some time, having a felony, you're not getting that time in Georgia. You're not getting that job in Georgia. I don't know how I pop off where y'all at, but you're not getting that job here in Georgia. So don't limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. Have these conversations you all with people who you can, these young people, get them, encourage them to think about their future. Think about a future to where they can be independent, interdependent within a relationship, but not dependent on mama and daddy, not dependent on Uncle Sam, not looking forward to getting Section 8, to getting food stamps. Because y'all, there's so many young people to where that's just a win for them to be able to get those things because they truly believe that that's just the best that life has for them. And it's very sad. But guess what? It's not true. And I know it. It's not true. But many of them don't know it. I know it. I speak the truth over here. I know it's not true. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Chic. My channel Chic Speaks on it. It's one of two channels. I have another channel that's called Chic Speaks. So as of late, I've been over there talking. My talk centered around the Cassie and Diddy trial. I've given my thoughts and feedback on that. So if you want to know what I have to say about that, follow me over there. Chic Speaks. This is the second channel. Chic Speaks on it. It was once my smaller channel. Now this is my larger channel. But I talk my talk. My background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which means that if I want to, I can work as a therapist, um, a psychologist, whatever you want to call it. I can do all that. Activate my license. You can pay me however much I want to charge you, and you can come just spill the tea. That's just not how I choose to serve. At this point in my life, it's just not. It's not how I choose to serve. I choose to serve by coming out here on the internet. I talk my talk, and then those people who I encounter, just by however I encounter, I just share. I give um I just give advice. It's just what I do. I'm trained in what I do, and then a lot of what I know is just discernment. It's just discernment, life lessons, common sense. But I do have education behind me, so I can talk my talk when it comes to mental health, mental illness. So a lot of what I talk about, I'll insert mental health, mental illness, you all, because all of these things that are taking place in the world, it is having an impact on people's mentals. How does it not? When you learn that you lost your job, you are the only one working. Y'all think that that's not going to weigh on somebody? My daughter's best friend dad, spring break on vacation with his family, get a phone call. Yeah, we no longer need you. He's the only breadwinner. You think that's not going to weigh on him and the family? And after my daughter told me that, I had just seen, so my daughter, she does orchestra. So she had an end of the year concert maybe 2 weeks ago. And I saw, her best friend's mom. And normally, like when she sees me, like she's kind of talkative and but I noticed that she was different. She was kind of more kind of within, quiet. So when my daughter told me a couple of days ago that the father, the husband, daddy, lost his job, I'm like, now it makes sense. Y'all think this woman ain't dealing with something because now it's like she know that the one income that was coming in is no longer there, and y'all, they was living nice. They live nice. They got a nice house. It's real nice. Daddy was getting to the money. Daddy was getting to the money. Daddy was in management in cybersecurity, been in his career for years. Smart guy, tech. Like daddy was getting to it. Daddy was getting to it. So when my daughter told me about daddy getting laid off, I'm like, that's why mommy was looking so withdrawn and like she wasn't herself. It wasn't the same energy that I'd ever gotten from this woman before. And it made sense. Y'all, this no tell like think about it. I remember the year I got in 2011 when I last got laid off that year. My husband and I was telling my daughter in this moment. She's 15. I was like, yeah, me and daddy both got laid off in 2011. He got laid off that June, and I got laid off that September. So here's the thing. He got laid off in June, then he got a job in August, and then I got laid off the next month after he started working. Ain't that some ish? So y'all think this ish that's taking place ain't impacting people's psyche? Shit. Mm-mm. Oh, people all effed up mentally and emotionally. I get it. Oh, I get it. I get it. People worrying about like, oh my God, so my daughter's best friend. They got 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. The oldest daughter, she graduates. She's a senior. Today's the last day of school. She graduates this week. College bound. College bound. What happens now? That's just one person's story. You all, this is the first story I've heard that hit home that was so close to me, centered around like with the impact of the economy and the layoffs. I talk to you all and I report on it, but this was my first where it was like someone where I'm like, wow, this like just it hit them. So yes, mental health. Figure out what you need to do to make sure your mental health is good. What is it that you like to do? I have products that I sell. There's links on some so if you look through my other videos on this channel, I have links, hyperlinks that take you to Amazon. So I have products. I'm a published author, so I have like adult coloring books, journals, notebooks, things like that centered around mental health, anxiety, depression, all of that. All range from $5.99 to $7.99. That's the price point. $5.99 to $7.99. Prime. All on Prime. But it's the reason why I created these products is because I understand that mental health is serious. I did all this, y'all, at the top of the year. This is just what I did. I wasn't, I took a break from content creation and I just created these products. And I know that a lot of times people don't have someone to talk to. So these products that I have is centered around that. You don't need to talk to somebody. It's just creativity. How many of you are adults and you just get solace in just coloring? There's so many adults who like to color. And I really enjoy creating the coloring books. So check them out. But yeah, like journaling. Do you writing out your feelings? You may not have someone to talk to, or you may just not want to talk to somebody. But you got to get it out, y'all. You got to get it out. So many people keep a lot of stuff just bottled in, and then a lot of people don't know people be going through stuff. A lot of people don't know people be going through stuff. And you think they good because they got a smile on their face. How many of y'all might be that person, or you see people and you thought they was good because they always was smiling, and then you later learned something that was going on with them. Be like, damn, I didn't even know, I couldn't tell. Or are you that person where child, you crying like, she, girl, I'm crying inside now, I'm crying on the way to work talking to you, but nobody else know because you put on a straight face when you get in front of people, because you may think like, well, hell, everybody got problems. Everybody got problems. Everybody going through something. I don't want nobody to be trying to feel sorry for me or whatever. Like, so I'm just gonna I'll be all right. I'm just gonna cope. I'm just gonna deal. And to the day they just can't do it no more. And then you reading about them. You like, damn, what happened? And then you learning what was popping up in their life. And you be like, damn, I didn't even know that. Y'all remember the story? What? Listen, if y'all new to my channel, you better subscribe. I told a story before about a black woman who worked in DC. Y'all, she went to work, put her little lunch bag down, put her stuff down, laid her head down on the desk, and never woke up. Never woke up. She was a government worker. She was concerned about her job. And at the time, Trump was impacting jobs. So she probably passed away in February or March sometime. It was after Trump got in office because she was a government worker. She worked in DC. She worked in like the IT sector. They said she was good at what she did. They said she was very good at what she did. And she came to work like any other day. She came to work. She laid her head on her desk, closed her eyes, and she never woke up. True story. Look it up. Anything that I talk about on here, I tell you, go look it up. Type in Google, woman dies at federal worker dies at work. She was stressed. Here's the thing. She was a black woman. She was overweight. So what happens is that a lot of times we got these underlying issues already going on. So you already got these underlying issues going on. And then you add stress on top of that. Like your body already stressed because you got this work, like extra weight, stuff working overtime, blood pumping hard, like you over double, triple time. And then stress, because remember, it all starts in the brain. When this breaks down, guess what? This starts to break down. When this breaks down, this breaks down. So you got to make sure this is good. And here's the thing. Listen, when this stopped being good, look, this broke down. Look what all she was already dealing with. She was an overweight, like she's obese. She was still living. But when this broke down, this broke down. This is what finally took her out. When this broke down. Mental health is everything. Mental health is everything. Take care of yourselves and one another. I always say, but heavy on the taking care of yourself. Because if you're not good, those who rely on you, they're not going to be good because they're dependent on you. So you gotta make sure you're good. Take care of home. When I say take care of home, this is home. You are home. Like on the plane, when they say put your face mask on before you start helping anybody else out, you gotta make sure you good, right? It's the same thing. Figure it out. What makes you feel good? What's a healthy vice that you can do? What going to walk? I love walking. I do walk and talks. They're very popular on any of my channels. I do walk and talks. I'll walk and I'll talk my talk about whatever the heck I'm talking. But that's enjoyment for me. It's exercise. It allows for me to clear my mind. And when I walk, the juices flow in a way when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking. Get out in nature. It's healing. The sun. I tell my husband, I was like, you got a melanated queen. I'd be like, what am I? I'll do check-ins with him. What am I? I'm a melanated queen, you all. Vitamin D deficiency, not over here. I'm always outside. I'm getting the vitamin D. Oh, people, Sheik, you're what? I'm 44 years old. You look. Okay, well, I get outside. I go outside. I don't run from the sun. I get my steps in. I'm all natural. I just take care of myself. I'm 44 years old. October, I'll be married 21 years. 3 children, ages 20, 15, and one that will be 17 in July. I take care of myself. Stress kills. Walking helps to de-stress. Like that helps me. Sometimes I'll do like exercises, but walking is my favorite form of exercise. Do not sleep on exercise. Sleep. Oh yeah, this the beauty. This the real beauty secret. My manager was like, "Oh, no wonder why you look so young." Listen, I sleep a lot. So when I say I sleep a lot, I nap. So each day for at least 2 hours, most days, I would say out of 7, 4 to 5 days out of a week, I am going to sleep for 2 to 3 hours of napping. It's a reset for me. It resets. I've been doing it like all my life. My mom would do that, and then it just was a habit for us to rest. We'd go to school. I'd come home. Me and my sister, we'd come home. We'd rest. We'd sleep. Then we'd wake up and we'd do our homework and do whatever. But that was the routine. So now as an adult, I work, I rest in between, then I wake up, and then I'll go back. You see, I get it in. I sleep. I get in a good amount of sleep. It makes a difference for your body. Walking, things like that. It rejuvenates your cells. Drinking water. You all get into these things. Figure out what it is to take care of yourself. These things are natural things that don't cost money. How are you sleeping? Are you going outside? Are you getting sun? Sun is natural healing. If you've been finding yourself feeling sick a lot lately, go outside more. It's spring, approaching summer. Go outside more during the day when the sun's out. Walk, or if you can't walk, if you're unable to do that, sit. Find some nice place to sit and just take in the sun, take in nature. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. Dee Dee said, don't eat processed foods. Like all these things, it makes a difference. And you don't have to do everything that checks off on the list because I eat processed foods. But I'm talking to you about the things that I do. So try to do more good than not. How about that? It's the balance. Try to do more good than not. So I feel like I do more good. My diet isn't the best, but when it comes to the exercise part, I'm good. I'm good when it comes to that. Healthy, healthy vitals, energy, like I'm good in that area. So do what you can. That's what it's about. Do what you can. Do what you can. Be an example to your babies, to your children, to those who you're caring for, to your grandbabies, whatever you got. Be an example. Show them the way. Do your part to end the generation of obesity. So many of our women are women in my community, the Black community, are overweight, obese. It's just a whole thing. Good morning, everyone. Please like the video, like, share, subscribe. It's just free. I just come on here. I just talk my talk. I just come on here, y'all. I talk my talk whenever I'm able to. Um, I guess I kind of got a schedule. I just don't pre-schedule my videos. But if you follow me, you kind of come to know when I go live. But you're not going to likely see a pre-scheduled video. But I talk my talk. I do car chronicles on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Other days, I will maybe do a walk and talk, or I may be stationary in my car or at my house. But I go out, I go live at least probably like 5 days a week. I go live pretty often. So make sure you have your notification bell on so you know when I go live. But when I go live on this channel, it's centered around things surrounding like politics and things like that, things going on in the world, job losses, education, like all of that. My other channel is just all other things in the world that's going on, like I said. All other things that are going on. So I have my opinions, and then so when I share my opinions about whatever, I will often insert conversation. I will also insert things centered around mental health because that's my thing. That's my background. That's what I have knowledge in. So I will talk about how what we may see playing out, how it may be impacting one's mental health, what I'm seeing. So if you are here for a conversation centered around that, definitely follow me on this channel or any of my channels. And I love to see you in the chat. When I get stationary, usually I'll go through the comments and like read some of the comments. If you want to become a member of my channel for $2.99, to become a political honor student, your name will come up in color and I'll prioritize reading your comments. If you want to support through Super Chat, you can do that as well. And of course, that shows up in color and I can see the comments. Sometimes it gets crazy in the comments and it's a lot of comments that come through. So I can't see them, like read them all. So if it is a comment that comes in color, I can see it more easily. So that's why it takes like priority. But otherwise, I try to read like other comments as well, that aren't in color, that didn't come through membership or super chat. So let me know your thoughts. I will be parking my vehicle very soon in my parking garage. Hopefully I won't lose connection. And I will read some through some of the comments before I let you all go from this live. So let me know what your thoughts and comments centered around just this big beautiful bill act. Are you here for it? What parts do you like? What parts do you not like? And HUD. Are you here for the changes to HUD or the limitations to it? Because basically, it's going to be reduced as far as with the eligibility and one being able to qualify. It's listen, change is coming, but listen, change is inevitable. Change is inevitable, so change should be embraced in most situations because most of the time when there's change, it's for the better. It's for the better, but we don't, many of us don't, we don't like change. We get comfortable in, what we've been doing. So, but change is here. The Trump administration, it has definitely gotten it on and popping with the change. So he's like, listen, you better get used to change because it is here. Change is here. Um, and we just gotta go along with it. I call things growing pains. When it's change, it's growing pains. And we're growing as a country, as a nation. And while we're growing, the goal is to, for our nation to get better, to get stronger, even in the midst of all these changes that we're seeing that we may not be here for. The ultimate goal is basically to just be a better and a stronger nation. And it's just what's argued is like how we get there. That's kind of, it's like, okay, how do we get there? That's what the argument is. How do we get there? Are we going about it the right way. So I talk about this on my channel as far as the approach that's being taken to get us to a better place. Because as of late, I haven't really been here for the way in which our current administration has been trying to get us to better days. I don't know. I just feel like it can be better. We can get to better days in a better way. How about that? Better days in a better way. But we do need change. We do need things to be better. We do need to evolve as we all of that. All of that. A lot of much of what President Trump talks about. It's just really what's up for debate is how we go about doing it. It's like, yeah, I hear we need to make things better. We need to cut budget, but it's the approach to me that's really what's up for the debate, not the fact that things need to be done. It's more see. Eric, Eric, I was broke years ago. I dropped down on my knees and said, Lord, have your way. He showed up and showed out. The crazy thing now is that I have it. I don't even want it. And I talk about on my channel of how people have different struggles. Some people's struggles is the money. Some people's struggles is their health. Some people's struggle is like their family situation. Everyone has something. So we have to be sensitive to people in regards to what their thing is, because just because someone got a lot of money, we can't dismiss whatever their struggles may be, because it's like, well, you can pay your bills, but it's like, okay, my heart is weak. Yeah, I got money in the bank, but my heart is weak. My knee keeps going out. I keep falling. You ever heard rich people? You ever hear some people's stories, like people who got money, who talk about who got bad health and be like and be willing to. I seen y'all know who the rapper Bootsy is. Bootsy, he like maybe like 3 weeks ago, like he had gotten into a car accident, and after that, like he was just down bad, and he was like in pain, crying like on the internet, and this man got like millions, like a lot of money, but his health, he couldn't pay to get his health right. So that's the situation for a lot of people. That even though they got the money, they can't buy good health. The pain is still there. The weakness in their body and their joints is still there, but they got fat bank account. They got fat bank account, but their mental health is out of whack. So we can't just dismiss what people got going on because it's not what we got going on. That's basically what I'm saying. Is that we can't, dismiss it, be dismissive of people like that. Daniel, good morning. So keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Um, Joshua says, like voting for tariffs and realizing it's going to raise prices like the pandemic, but self-inflicted. Eric said, sometimes God will change your circumstances to remind you he is God. I like that. I felt like that's what happened with me in 2011 when I got laid off. Remember, I said my husband and I both got laid off in 2011. Like 3 months apart, June, July, August, 3 months apart. He was laid off in June. I got laid off in September of 2011. And I felt like God did that to show me that, listen, like you think you in control and you doing whatever, but I can show you better than I can tell you. And he showed me that he was in control and that what I had, that he can take it all away, and that what I had, it was what was given to me. Um, and he can take it away just like he gave it to me. And he took my job, that good job, the good job I had, like he took it away. He was like, you know what? Yeah, that's enough. We'll take this away. You got a husband. We'll let him, hold down the fort. You got a good man. He got a job. You just be at home and get into your family. That's what I need for you to do. That's what I feel like the message was for me, um, when I got laid off. because I had too much attention outside of the home and not enough tension in the home. And Eric talked about dropping to his knees, saying whatever. I remember during those times doing the same thing. I felt like I was just in so much pain, as far as just not pain from being sick, but just pain, aching pain of just being unhappy. To remember, I remember the day, and I was in the bathroom, and I cried out to the Lord. I said, Lord, please help me. Please take this pain, take it away, help me. Reveal to me what I need to know. Like, and asking you shall receive. And the pain, I remember feeling like almost like instantly, you all. I remember that day feeling pain, and it was like instantly, like I felt a relief. And then the next time I went to him was when I'm like, yeah, help me. Like, why am I in this situation? Why can't I get a job? I have all this education, y'all. Y'all, I have multiple degrees. So I had, listen, your girl is degreed up. So I'm like, I got all this education. Like, why? And then it was like a silent voice that said to me, like, you need to be at home with your family. You need to tap in to your kids. You got to do this. You got, and so when I accepted that that was the reason, and and me doing that work and getting into my children and just learning them in a way that I didn't know them before, because I was one of those moms that I was a provider, I was a worker. I wasn't like a nurturer. Like some people, like out the gate, they're nurturing. Like that was my husband, like automatically. That wasn't me, but that's not what my mother was to me. She was a provider. We knew she loved us, she cared, but she wasn't nurturing, like touching you. Oh, I love you, kisses. Oh, no, it wasn't none of that. So I didn't do those things. But I knew how to provide, make sure that they had the private school and the clothes and all of those things. So the Lord was like, you know what? Bump all of that. Do you really know these kids? Like, do you really know these kids and their personalities? And at that point, I didn't. And my kids at that time, well, my oldest was maybe 7. Then I had a 3-year old and a 2-year old. They were little. Thank you, West Grace. My kids were little, but I didn't know them like that. I gave birth to them, but I wasn't like hands on like that. I was a provider. But when I always say, y'all, when I tell my story, when I got laid off, I say the Lord set me down. The Lord set me down. He said that you need to focus on your family. You need to focus on your marriage, your kids. He set me down because I told you my distraction. I was out. It was outside at work. I wasn't putting in that work at home like I needed to. So he's like, you know what? Let me take away all of that because you need to sit your and that's what he did. Like literally, like you take all your kids' toys away and tell them now sit down and don't get up. That was the message I had, and I sat down and I couldn't get up like for a year. And when I did the work, y'all, this is how God worked. It was almost to a year to the date from when I got laid off when I went back to work. Crazy, yo, crazy. Like he sat me down September 2011. I did the work, and then like September 2012, I went back to work. And I continued to be tapped in into my family the way he wanted me to be. So that's my story. That's my testimony. The Lord set me down. And because he set me down, he saved my marriage. He saved my family. That was 2011. It's 2025. This year, October, I'll be married 21 years. I'm 44 years old. But that's my story because had it not worked out that way, I likely would be divorced, single mom, maybe remarried by this time. I don't know. But I wouldn't be married to the man I'm with now because I know where I was going. I seen it. The Lord seen it too. That's why they say, Lord don't bless no mess. I was married, so he blessed my situation because we weren't shacking. He wasn't my baby daddy or my boyfriend. He's my husband. So the Lord put his hands on, he blessed it because that was my husband. It wasn't mess. So he did all the work. But he don't do that type of work when you just shacking and you got you a boyfriend or girlfriend. He ain't his hand ain't in it in a way that it's in it when you're married. That's why it makes a difference. Because he shows up. It's different. He shows up when there's a union. I've been married 21 years come October. So I've been married 20 years. October be 21 years. I got married October 1st, 2004. And we closed on our first house that same day. I got married at 23 and bought my first home with my husband at 23 on that same day. We literally closed on our house and went to the Justice of the Peace October 1st, 2004. I was 23 years old. I turned 24 later that month. So it's work. I have my story just like the next person. But I know that God's hand was all up in it because I know where I was. Who knows where I was going? The Lord knew where I was going. I feel like, she come here. Come here. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. Oh, yes, Lord. Yes. So here we are. I am still Mrs. Taylor. I am still Mrs. Taylor. So that's my story. Like the video. Like the video, like, share, and subscribe. I've arrived. Um, Thank you for your support. Cash App, if you do want to show me any support through Cash App. My Cash App is $speak50. Thank you so much, Dr. J. Thank you so much. Dr. J, please share your link for your channel. Dr. J is also a content creator that talks about topics centered around education and things that's going on in the U.S. and in the impact to the education system. Because there's a listen, when you got your babies, you got your children, you need to know what's going on. You want to stay tapped in. So that's what Dr. J's content is about. Dr. J, if you can share your link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it so people can follow you. God is good. She has 177 subscribers. She started her channel April 6th. I always remember because that's my mother's birthday. And I remember she was just working hard to get to 50 subscribers because that's when you're able to go live on YouTube when you get 50 subscribers. I think I was subscriber number 22. I think I was number 22. And it's like once she hit that 50 number, it's just like went up and then it was 100 and now she's nearing 200. So listen, this is how the Lord works. When he see you working, Virtue says your grandbaby birthday, Aries. Yep, it's my mama birthday. When he see you working and you putting in that work, he gonna do his part. So you gotta do your part. Raspo, I've been married to my husband 27 years, been together since we was 20. I was 21. We own a home. We came from living in one bedroom, low income apartment 22 years ago. And that's the thing. Like when you're with someone for so long, you remember the struggles that you had together. I think back to just me and my husband just raising 3 kids and paying childcare. The struggle, the strain, the financial strain. I remember those days. I think about where we are now. I think about how, my kids are older and I can sleep. I tell you, it's me taking naps and things like because they're not little anymore. I'm not in school anymore. When they were babies, while I was taking care of them, I was also going to school. I was a student. So I was a wife, a mother, a student, and I had a job, a career woman. So don't talk to me about what can't be done because I'm an example of what can be done. I took my first college class at 9 months pregnant. I never took a break while having kids from school. I'd have go into labor, have my baby come home, and be back set up on my bed with my laptop doing a paper. Ain't no maternity leave in school. I continue to keep going because I was motivated to want a better life for my family. So find something to be motivated by because that's what it's about. That's what keeps you going. People be like, Sheik, how you do it? How'd you do all of that? And you was on Dean's list. Girl, how you do it? God, I don't know. I don't have any other response other than God because I just did it. I did what I felt like I had to do, what was necessary. Like to do it as well as I did. Like, listen, like I had to do it. I told you I had 3 kids, a husband, a full-time job. I wasn't no at-home mom, part-time, full, like y'all, married, kids, full-time job the entire time. I did that multiple times over. I have multiple degrees, multiple times. So I know it can be done. If there's a will, there's a way. Message. If there's a will, there's a way. What is your will? Because he will find a way for you. What is your will? What is your will? On that note, thank you all. Happy hump day. I hope you all have a fabulous Wednesday. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood in Georgia. The sun's out. I love it when the sun's out. Why? Because I am a melanated queen. I enjoy when the sun is out. It gives me energy. So I don't run from the sun. I run to it. So take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the taking care of yourselves. Like the video, share, subscribe, and I will catch you all on the next broadcast. Peace.